Welcome to your first ukulele class. In this video, I'm going to show you how to play the ukulele from scratch. So let's get started and learn the main parts of the instrument that you are holding right now. So to begin with, this is called the body of the ukulele, and this sound hole is called the case. And this is the place where the sound comes from when you start playing the strings. The fretboard or the neck of the ukulele is this longish part that connects the body to the headstock. This is the place where you play your chords and your notes and everything. Along these fretboards, we have these metal vertical bars, and these are called frets. These metal bars help you find the right notes on your ukulele, which is great because on a violin, for example, these frets are missing. So we are blessed to have these frets. Most fretboards have dots on them as well. And the dots are there to kind of organize the fretboard into smaller pieces so you can find frets easily. For example, if you want to play a note on the 7th fret of your fretboard, you don't have to count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you can just simply look for the dots to find it very easily. Moving on, this top part of the ukulele is called the headstock, and this is the place where the tuning pegs are located. Tuning pegs help you to tune the strings in the correct note when you start playing. And the headstock is also there to simply hold the strings in their place so they don't fly off anywhere. This part of the ukulele is called the nut, and it plays an essential role in the ukulele's tone and action. The tone and action of ukulele is simply like what is the distance between the strings and the fretboard, how much space is there between the strings and the fretboard, etc. The nut of the ukulele also has these small grooves in them that simply hold the strings in their place. Last but not least, this part of the ukulele is called the saddle, and this holds the strings at their correct height. So those are the parts of the ukulele, and now let's head on to how to tune the strings and how to play your first ukulele chords. But before we do that, I need you to hit that subscribe button on my channel because I upload ukulele content every single day on how you can become a better ukulele player. And in addition to that, I also upload my self-composed fingerstyle arrangements and popular songs. So once you subscribe to my channel, let's learn how to tune the strings of your instrument. To make sure to tune the ukulele in the most efficient way, it's super important to know the names of the strings. The tuning from top to bottom is G, C, E, A. To make sure that you can remember the names of the strings in the most efficient way, I've put 3 phrases on screen. Just pick one that resonates with you the most. They're really random, I know, but once you know one of these sentences or all 3 of them, I can guarantee you that you will never forget the names of the strings. You can buy a clip-on tuner and put it on the headstock to tune your strings, but you can also use a free app that I'm gonna link in the description of this video right now. When you launch the tuner, make sure to turn the microphone on. Also make sure to always select the ukulele standard tuning option because this will guarantee that you will be tuning in G, C, E, A. Then when you play a note, make sure that the vertical line is more like this, center towards the note. If it's more like this or that, you can adjust with your tuning pegs and the line will move accordingly until you have reached that center note. When you're tuning your ukulele for the first time, do keep in mind that new ukuleles get detuned very easily. The main reason for that is because new strings on the ukulele are not used to the tension that they need to be in to perform the standard tuning. You can visualize this by viewing it as a piece of chewing gum that you want to stretch out like that. The more you stretch it out, the more it wants to return to its original state, and this is exactly the case for ukulele strings as well. In other words, by tuning it as many times as possible in the beginning, you're actually telling the strings like, hey, stay in this position because you need to be in the standard tuning. So all I'm saying is be prepared for the fact that you have to tune your ukulele many times if it's brand new. But that's okay because now you know how to do this in the most efficient way. So now let's talk about how to hold the ukulele. Because if you don't have the proper technique to hold your instrument, you can end up struggling with a lot of things such as playing chords, finger placement, straining your arms and more. So you want to avoid that altogether. So allow me to demonstrate how I hold my ukulele. The first support point is all about holding the case, the body of the ukulele. You take the part below the case and rest it on your lap. If you want to play while standing up, I'd recommend a ukulele strap that you can just put around your neck like that. The second support point revolves around your strumming arm. Take the part right under your elbow and you position the case, the body of the instrument, against you. Don't squeeze it, but gently lock it. The third and final support point is all about holding the fretboard. Your left hand supports the neck, but don't squeeze too hard. You want a relaxed grip. Additionally, you can take the inside of your index finger and let it rest right below the nut of your ukulele. Last but not least, make sure that you're just comfortable and feel natural. You should feel like calm when you're playing the ukulele. It's not like a pressure test or anything. So now we know how to tune the strings and how to hold the ukulele. Let's learn how to play our first ukulele chords. Before you start playing any note or chords, you need to make sure that these 3 things are in check. So my first tip is all about your fingertips. So you should press the strings with your fingertips and not the pads of your fingers. This way you avoid accidentally muting other strings. Also keep your fingers curved like this. So not like that, but more like that. So only the tip touches the strings. The second thing you need to make sure of when playing notes on the ukulele is to make sure that your thumb behind the fretboard is in check. Position your thumb right behind the neck, roughly in the middle. So don't hold it like that. Also avoid gripping too hard because this thumb should provide gentle support. It should not be like squeezing like that. And the third way to ensure proper finger positioning is by always playing the notes right in front of the fret. So not on top, also not like too far in front of the fret, and also not too far behind it. Because if you play the note right on top of the fret, the note will sound very muffled. And if you play too far in front of the fret, you would have to press way harder to get the same tone. So play every chord, every note right in front of the fret. Speaking of chords, let's get you started with 4 ukulele chords that you can practice right away and practice in a loop as well. Okay, so let's learn the first chord, which is going to be the C major. You play this by putting your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, so the bottom string, and the rest is open. The second chord we're going to learn today is going to be the A minor, and you play that by placing your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, so the top string. The rest of the strings are open. If you're getting this sound, make sure to throw your wrist a little bit more forwards, but not too much, but just a little bit. This way you can create a little bit of extra space. My thumb is resting right behind it like that. It should sound like this. The third chord is going to be the A7, and you're going to play that by placing your index finger on the 1st fret of the C string, and the rest is open. The fourth chord is going to be the C7, and you're going to play that by putting your index finger on the 1st fret of the A string this time, and the rest is open. So to summarize, C major, A minor, A7, C7. While you're strumming a chord on your ukulele, please make sure to apply the same amount of pressure on each string. So really make sure that you're really hitting the strings from top to bottom like that. So not like that, but like this. It really helps to look at this part while you're doing it. A simple way to test if you're doing it right is by playing a C major and just listening if you hear this note as well. Because if you hear only this, then it means that you're not hitting all the strings from top to bottom. But if you hear this, and you hear this note as well, then it means that you're hitting the strings correctly. And now that you know these ukulele chords, the next step is to play a chord progression. To put it very simple, a chord progression is a sequence of chords played in a specific order. And if you're feeling awkward or if you're experiencing stops while changing chords on the ukulele, have no fear, because I'm going to share with you my 3-step plan on how you can avoid this altogether. Step number 1. For your fretboard hand, make sure to really practice the chords first without even playing them. Like this. C major, A minor, A7, C7. And then you just repeat the cycle like this. Just focus on how your fingers are moving from one chord to the next. And your muscle memory will actually pick up these movements, and it will make sure that you will be able to transition between the chords more fluidly. The second step to transition between chords smoothly is by making sure that your strumming hand is playing one rhythm. So don't play like this, but play like this. Keeping one rhythm. Step 3, and the final way to ensure that you're transitioning between the chords smoothly, is by playing so slow that you won't even notice that you're actually looking for the next chord. So don't do this, and then reposition looking for the next chord, but do it like this. So now you've got a head start on how to play the ukulele in the most efficient way, but we are not done yet. If you want to make the most out of your ukulele practice sessions, you need to follow these 4 foolproof tips I'm going to share with you right now. And the last one is definitely the most important. Tip number 1, focus on one skill at a time. And I'm saying this because I understand the hype of when you're learning something new. You want to learn everything together all at once, but you really need to break it down in smaller steps to make sure that your muscle memory is saving everything. So work on one technique per time, be it chord transitions or strumming or holding it or whatever. So do not rush the process, because speed will come naturally and it will come at the end when you've saved everything in your muscle memory. My second tip to get the most out of your ukulele practice sessions is to practice in slow, controlled movements. So whether you're learning a new song or the chord progressions I just taught you, make sure to practice it by breaking it down in smaller steps. So just like we did in this video, make sure to slow down the pace first and then increase the tempo gradually. My third tip to practice the ukulele in the most efficient, effective way is to make sure that you're just relaxed. Like the palm of your hand should be relaxed, your shoulders should be relaxed, like everything should be just relaxed. This way you can avoid unnecessary tension or pressure that you're putting on the strings or yourself. And my fourth and final tip to practice the ukulele in the most efficient way, and this is definitely the most important one, I just said it already, consistency over hours. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. My number 1 rule for practicing the ukulele or guitar or anything is that practicing for 10 minutes each day is better than practicing for hours once a week. So please make sure to practice regularly, even if it's just a few minutes out of your day. Because building an effective practice routine is really gonna make all the difference between if you're gonna keep practicing or eventually give up. Now you know how to start playing the ukulele from scratch, but if you want to master strumming, I'm gonna link a video right now that guarantees the best strumming technique. Good luck practicing, and I hope to see you soon in the next video.